notice now we were looking at auctions where responder was bidding a spade. In this situation here, where responder bids a heart, opener, if you have 3 hearts, I think you're normally just going to bid 2 hearts here probably. In theory, you don't have 4 spades, right? Because you might have rebid 1 spade over 1 heart. Now, there are some partnerships that prefer to show balanced hand and will actually bypass a 4-card spade suit. That is not generally how, when you learn standard American bidding, it's normally if you don't rebid a spade here, you don't have 4 spades, right? Usually you go up the line. There are benefits and drawbacks to both methods. But in theory, opener can't have 4 spades, right? So when partner starts with a heart and then gives you the new minor in the second round of bidding, usually at this point, you're either showing 3 hearts or you're not showing 3 hearts. And we're not really worried about the other major on that auction, right? So you don't have to worry so much because we've gone up the line. We haven't lost the other major. It's not the problem that you run into when partner bids a spade and prevents you from showing a 4-card heart suit. So normally on that auction, and then of course you can show max or min when you support hearts, right? So you can jump to 3 hearts. So.
But you could be having 4 spades also. I mean.
Well, that's what we're saying. Normally at this point of the auction, you've denied 4 spades, right?
Oh, right, because you would have done
So, so it wouldn't accomplish, if you bid 2 spades at this point, you're probably just going to confuse your partner, right? Unless you really did have 4 spades that you chose to conceal and you wanted to show them. But since it's more common for us to just rebid a spade when we have 4 spades, that auction, when responder bids a heart, your new minor auctions tend to be a little more straightforward. So, and then remember the inferences that we can draw if we have one of these auctions here on the left. So the top one, a club, a spade, 1 no, 2 no. 2 no's invitational, right? What do we know about responder's hand as far as the majors are concerned?
4 spades.
Exactly 4 spades, right? Because if they had 5 spades, they might have used new minor.
Heart stopper. No.
Responder also doesn't have 4 hearts, right? We know that by inference. If we know that they only have 4 spades, we know that they can't have 4 hearts, right? Because if they had 4 of each, they would have gone up the line. They wouldn't have responded a spade, they would have responded a heart. So notice that even with a really simple auction like that, so always go back to your negative inferences. Think about what partner might have done but failed to do, and you can start to paint a pretty good picture of the hand. No, you're not. You're neither confirming nor denying stoppers in every suit. Again, we don't want you to worry about that. You got to bid your hand. If you have a balanced 11 count, you got to show it. You can't worry about, well, do I have an honor in diamonds? Do I have an honor in hearts? Yeah, we can't be that scientific. We're trying to get in the point range, figure out whether or not we belong in game or not. And if we have a trouble suit and the defenders attack it, so be it. That's going to happen once in a while. Down here, same thing, right? The only difference is rather than invitational, you're game forcing. So now you've got a full opening hand. You definitely want to be in game. And you have exactly 4 spades. Because otherwise you would have trotted out your trusty new minor to find out if you had a 5-3 spade fit. So if you couldn't have, and you're thinking as well, since I only have 4 spades and partner didn't raise my spades, we can't have an 8-card major fit. If it's impossible for us to have an 8-card major fit, why do I want to fool around with any other conventions? I'm just going to, that's the old, she who knows goes, right? You know where you belong in 3 no, you bid 3 no. Don't give partner any other reasons to be to go astray, right? No 8-card major fit. And we're both generally balanced. We play 3 no for better or worse. Now I would like to ask you how you handle a hand. And again, this is probably not a new minor situation, But all of these things are tied together. Remember, all of your systems and all of your bidding approaches, these things are all connected. So let's get rid of these. Your partner opens a club, and you have this hand, which has 10 high card points. Pretty nice 6-card spade suit, singleton diamond. All right. Well, what's your plan with this hand? Certainly going to start with a spade, right? You're only guaranteeing 4, but could have more and do here. All right. Well, we'll see what partner has to say. Okay, partner rebids a no trump. This is not a shocking development. So what is your plan with this hand next?
I'm only counting 10 high card points. We can just count high card points for a responder, right? Just high cards.
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is when partner has rebid a no trump, showing a balanced hand, there should be a doubleton spade over there, right? Right. Because we don't really want to open a rebidding. Now, like I said, your partner may be stuck. Maybe they had to felt like they had to rebid one no trump with a singleton spade, but that's a practice we generally want to avoid. So I think it's okay to put 2 spades in your partner's hand. And if your partner rebid one no with a singleton spade, and you end up in the wrong contract, that is your partner's fault. Right? So, have you realized through these last few weeks how important the assessment of blame is in this game? No, we want happy partnerships. But they used to do a feature in the old Western Conference paper. I think John Swanson did it in his Master Solvers panel, but they would give a problem, and they would give the final contract, or they would give the bidding of how they got there, and then the instructions for the problem were apportion the blame. Yeah, out of the 100% of possible blame to go around, is it 50% for North and 50 for South, or did South screw up more badly than North and we go 70-30? Or I thought it was kind of funny, but. So you probably have an 8-card spade fit. You may have a 9-card spade fit, right? Opener could have 3-card support for your spades, which would be great. We'd be in a 9-card fit. Do you want to invite game, or do you want to force the game? I think I would invite. I want to give partner room to have a minimum. I don't want to punish my partner for opening a 12 count, because I want partner to open all of her 12 counts. So I don't think I want to punish partner by insisting that we play 4 spades here. But the hand is certainly worth an invitation, right?
Yeah. Even though he has a maximum of 13.
14 could be 14, right?
Oh, true.
Right. Remember, one no is going to be 12 to 14.
Until
My partners all have a maximum of 13. My partners actually do have a maximum of 14. I play 14. I play 14 to 17 no trump with a lot of my partners. So they actually do only have 12 or 13. Not all of them, but many of them. And part of the reason that I want to bring this problem up is not just evaluate it, but also just to understand your methods. If responder jump rebids a suit, would you all play that as invitational or forcing?
Forcing.
Standard American is invitational.
Invitation.
Yeah. Invitational with 6 spades? Okay. That's what I would bid with this hand. I would jump to 3 spades and let partner choose to either pass 3 or bid on to 4. So. But you will find some people who play it as forcing. But that usually is in conjunction with other conventions that they're playing that I don't think you all are playing. So I would stick with it, usually, and we can actually phrase that, yes, a jump rebid of the same suit by responder is what this is, right? So when you're going through your convention cards, talking to your partners, or you have a game with a new partner, a good thing to ask is, what is our second round jump rebid, invitational or forcing?
So two spades would have said it was like five.
Well, it's two spades is six spades, but it's less than invitational. So that tends to be a sign off, because partner already showed you a minimum. So that says, okay, partner, I know you have a minimum, I'm not interested in game. Two spades is gonna play better than one note, that's what you're saying. So normally when you bid two spades, opener shuts up and doesn't bid again.
Okay.
So your hand's too good for that, you don't just wanna bid two spades and risk partner passing when you may have a good four spades, right? And on a hand like this, you know, again, we're thinking about the value of your hand, the fact that partner opened a club rather than a diamond. And that's one of the reasons I say if you jumped all the way to four spades, I don't think that would necessarily be much of an overbid. Because your singleton diamond is probably good here, right? Partner probably, we say probably because we don't know for sure, partner probably doesn't have a whole lot wasted in the diamond suit. Because the minor that partner opened was a club, and you've got a couple of good fitting cards in clubs, right? I mean, if partner had king, queen of clubs, or either honor, you know, your club holding supplements partner's honor or
What
honors
if
quite
you
well.
had two doubletons and hearts and diamonds?
Then I definitely wouldn't force the game. I would definitely, I would surely just call this invitational. I am giving you a little boost with the singleton. So if three spades is invitational. And the reason I ask this question is that if your three spades is forcing, then you might have to go through new minor with your invitational hands, and then you might not be able to convey that easily that you have a sixth spade. That's my biggest concern here. Yeah. Because if you do want to let, one way or another, you do want to let partner know when you have a six-card suit, six-card major. Know that it's okay for partner to raise your suit with a doubleton. So, all right. I do want to spend, even though there isn't as much to say about it, but I do want to spend a little time on fourth suit forcing, which in a lot of ways is similar. Before I move into that, is there anything that is gnawing at any of you about new minor?
What happens when there's interference?
Well, of course, it depends where the interference comes. I would still say responder as long as you can jump. A jump bid by responder is still invitational, even if there was an intervening double or overcall from one of your opponents at some point. Like if it went a club past a spade and then they came in with two diamonds and this came back around you, you could still jump to three spades, right? And it should still be the same hand. The other thing to keep in mind also is that anytime the opponents get into your auction with a suit and you want to force, you always have that Q bid available. So always keep that Q bid. You know, remember, the opponent's interference is, often a curse, sometimes a blessing. And blessing I say sometimes because it gives you a forcing option that you wouldn't have otherwise had. So, we like the Q bid. We want to take advantage of it when the opponents get into our auction.
What about the part about if you're never mind. One of them is when you don't have the minor, you bid the better minor. Isn't there one where you're bidding the major?
When you start with a heart.
You start with a
When you
heart.
start with a heart, you can still use new minor forcing by bidding the other minor.
Are you talking about the auction that starts a heart of spade?
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually meant to mention this and I forgot to, so I'm glad you brought it up. So this is a possibility. If our auction goes like this, where we're actually bidding both majors, responder, could you not still have five spades? And opener, could you not still have 3-card spade support for responders, 5-card spades? You could. So new minor is in fact on here. And the only question that we need to ask then is, Well, what do we bid? Because they're both new. Two clubs is a new minor and two diamonds is a new minor. Because there was no old minor on this auction, right? So in theory, you could use either one if you want to go so far as to define it a little more explicitly. Probably the sensible thing to do would be to just always use two clubs here as your new minor forcing.
You don't do a better minor.
Yeah, I would just use two clubs because that's our cheapest bid and we like to conserve bidding space. And you will find out whether or not opener has three spades or not. And then what that frees you up to do if you want is two diamonds could actually be just natural and non-forcing. Partner, I have a weak hand with 5 spades and 4 or 5 diamonds. Pick one.
But clubs
Pick the
is,
better fit.
clubs is forcing.
But clubs, yeah. Clubs is artificial and forcing, and then two diamonds can just be natural. Now, I will tell you, and we're not getting into this today because it's another class unto itself. With most of my partners, I play, and you may have run across this, what's called two-way new minor forcing. It is a bigger, better, more complex version of new minor, where both two clubs and two diamonds are artificial. So I wouldn't have that option with a lot of my partners here. But we're not getting into two minor forcing because we want you to be comfortable with regular new minor forcing before we tackle something like two-way new minor forcing. So essentially what two-way new minor forcing does is it allows you to distinguish your invitational hands from your game forcing hands. That's the main thing. Now, sometimes then we have yet more hands that can't make a 2/1, and they can't go through new minor because opener didn't rebid 1 no or 2 no. So we need one more tool to deal with those hands, and this is where your fourth suit forcing comes in. The reason I like to put fourth suit forcing kind of together with new minor forcing and sort of teach them together is that they're very similar. They really, because they function pretty much the same way. But they also open up a lot of opportunities for responder to show different hand types. So let's say I give you a hand that looks something like this. I'm going to give you, you're going to have 4-4 in the majors here. Oops, that's not the hand I want. I want this hand. All right, we're going to give you 4 spades to the ace. I'm going to give you 4 hearts to the king jack. Queen doubleton of diamonds. Ace jack 30 of clubs. Okay. Nice opening hand. Better than a minimum. Your partner, actually let's break that so we don't get confused. Your partner opens a diamond.
Wait, this is,
Your partner opens a diamond. You are a responder.
so you're a responder, okay.
Yes. You have opening values, but your partner actually opens the bidding. All right. Well, we know we're going to game for sure, right? With
Yes.
15, even if partner has a minimum, we are going to game. Possible we could be looking for a slam, but at least game. The first priority, well, we need to figure out where we're going to play this game. So we start with what? Heart. Okay. 4-4 majors are going up the line. Well, isn't that convenient? Partner bids a spade. So partner didn't raise hearts, but guess what? We have an 8-card spade fit. So we know we can play 4 spades, right? The question is, do you just want to shoot out 4 spades and settle for 4 spades? What if partner has a better than minimum hand? Or what if partner has got some shape over there? I can construct a lot of minimum hands for the opener here that have 12 tricks. I mean, your hand's good enough that I don't want to rule out the possibility of something better.
So what's the point range for the one spade rebid by opener?
So the one spade rebid by opener is any opening hand that is not good enough to jump shift, right?
Which is 17?
Usually 18.
Okay.
So, I mean, maybe partner would stretch a jump shift with a very nice distributional kind of 17 count. So yeah, as far as, well, what is opener's point range? Probably 12 to 17, right? Because they didn't jump shift to two spades, so they don't have a huge hand. Obviously, they didn't open two clubs, or something like that. So one spade here can still be pretty wide ranging. We kind of expect it to be a minimum for now, but it could be better than a minimum. That's our approach. It's a minimum until proven otherwise. So you could put the contract in four spades, and more often than not, that's probably where you belong and you come out fine, but you have an awfully nice hand. So I would ask you, what is the rush? Do we need to be in four spades right away? As long as you have some kind of forcing bid that you can make that will ensure that you get another chance to bid, you can wait at least a round of bidding before going to four spades, right? And so what we'd like to use for that is the fourth suit. So what I'd like you to bid with this hand here is two clubs. Now two clubs, you only have three clubs, clearly that's artificial. You will see on the convention card that when you play fourth suit forcing, you have the option of playing it forcing for just one round or forcing to game, right? Have we all seen that? Even if you haven't played it, you've probably seen it on the card. I would highly recommend that you play it forcing the game, because I don't think you want to start worrying about all the exceptions. When can we stop short of game? I think the easiest way to deal with force suit is just say it's always game forcing. And so now, when you bid that fourth suit, opener knows, all right, we're going to game somewhere. Now, you know about the 8-card spade fit, right? Opener doesn't know about the 8-card spade fit yet. You're gonna let partner in on the joke soon enough. But the more important thing is just to set up your force and make sure partner knows you're going to game. That way you can continue to gather information about opener's hand. And the idea here is that even when we don't have a spade fit, as we do on this hand, if the auction starts a diamond, a heart, a spade, if you actually have a club suit, at that point, aren't you just bidding no trump most of the time?
Yeah.
I mean, if you didn't have a fit anywhere and you had bid three suits, the thinking is, well, what are the chances that you have a fit in the fourth suit anyhow, right? You tried three different suits and didn't have a fit. So at that stage, you're probably just playing no trump. So the idea is that, again, when we talk about, you know, why should we be willing to give up an otherwise natural bid? Why should we be willing to give up two clubs to show a club suit? Because we don't need it. Either we have a fit in the major or we're playing no trump. You know, after three different suits, we're not going to tell partner, well, I know we tried all the others, but what do you think about playing in club? So better used as an artificial force. And then there really aren't any conventional responses to this. Opener just bids as naturally as possible. If opener has a generally balanced hand and they have an honor in the club suit, they're probably going to bid 2-no next, right? If opener doesn't have a club stopper, but maybe they have a fifth diamond or something like that, you know, they could come back and say 2 diamonds. Another possibility with a hand like this, by the way, remember we said opener doesn't know that you have 4 spades yet because you haven't let him in on the joke, but you did bid a heart. What would opener do with 3-card heart support? How about 2 hearts, right? Could you not have 5 hearts? That may be what you're after here. That may be why you're using the 4th suit. I mean, you're using the 4th suit, A, to force, but B, in the process, you may still be looking for the best contract. Here, you know you can play in spades, but I can deal